from atlases, as well as the most unique offering, probably the Soviet military maps. And then, of course, the purple buildings, which are government buildings and embassies. If I'm not mistaken, that's the State Department, that is the US Capitol, and that's the White House, Belly Dome. Yeah, these maps contain pretty much any information you might need to move a tank across the city.
This morning I was on a group driving and walking tour of some of the main sites here in Riga. And while the bus was driving down Elizabetes Street, just outside the hotel here, a couple of blocks away, I noticed the storefront of this interesting looking map shop. Now, of course, you may know that, even just based on the name of this channel, that I am a map enthusiast. So while still on the bus, I thought to myself that I needed to go back and visit that map shop. So that's what we're going to do right now. It was right here this morning, while I was riding the bus for our morning tour, that I caught a glimpse of this map shop. I thought it would be worth checking out, so let's go in. Hello. No, not for anything specific. I'm a geographer and just interested in maps.
Oh, yeah, well, then we have a large selection of both modern and historical maps. So.
Oh, you do have antique maps as well?
Not antique.
Yeah.
Those are probably in a museum under armed guard, but, but what we do have in terms of originals are 110-year-old maps that have been salvaged from atlases, as well as the most unique offering, probably the Soviet military maps.
Oh, interesting. Soviet military maps.
Yes, they are. Covering the whole world, by the way, in various scales, of course. Yeah. although we don't have Australia here. The Soviets did map Australia, but yeah, since we got these maps from the Soviet units that were stationed here during the occupation, you know, they wouldn't have been driving tanks around Sydney, so they didn't have a lot of maps of Australia.
So what time period are these maps from?
Most of them are from the 70s and 80s,
Okay.
but it varies. The oldest ones are from all the way back in the 40s.
Okay, so it was basically during the era of Soviet occupation.
Yeah, so these maps were made during all of the Cold War.
Okay.
The latest ones were made as late as 1992, the last year of the Soviet Union.
Yes. Okay.
The whole world is cool. It's just that the scales vary. So because as I said, the maps here were acquired from the Soviet units that were stationed here. Most variety in those maps will be for the local regions. So by that I mean the Baltics, western part of Russia, Belarus, Poland. Once you go further from than that, we have much less variety. So, for example, the United States will pretty much only have in the two largest scales. By that I mean 1 to 500,000. That's basically this big. For example, this is the Paris region. You know, so as you can see, this whole quadrant is covered by the 1 to 500,000 scale map.
Yes.
So we'll have pretty much the whole United States in that scale.
Is that right? So Soviet maps of the United States.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually crazy what they did. Outside of the regular maps that you saw there, they also made detailed city plans, which have such great detail that there are actually color-coded buildings there. So, not sure if you'll recognize it, but this is Washington, D.C.
Yes, I do recognize it.
Yeah, and as you can see, as I said, the buildings are color-coded.
That would be the Pentagon.
That would be the Pentagon, right. So the brown ones, those are just regular civilian buildings with no strategic importance.
Okay.
Then we have the black ones. Those are buildings with industrial importance, so industrial infrastructural importance. So think of factories, warehouses, railway stations, basically anything to do with civilian industry or infrastructure would be marked in black. Then of course we have the green buildings, which are with military importance. So military headquarters, military bases, airports, ports, fuel storage depots, and even buildings which house TV and radio stations. Those would be marked green as well. And then of course the purple buildings, which are government buildings and embassies. If I'm not mistaken, that's the State Department, that is the U.S. Capitol, and that's the White House, Belly Dome. Yeah, these maps contain pretty much any information you might need to move a tank across the city. Basically, all the topographical information is here. The terrain has its highest points marked, the bridges have their load capacity marked, the rivers have their depth and the speed of their currents marked. It's once you realize how much the Soviets knew about the places you lived in, it gets pretty scary. It's 1 to 25,000. This is really detailed. 1 centimeter on the map is 250 meters in real life.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, and usually, since you Americans tend to build pretty big cities, they usually don't fit on a single sheet. So as you can see here, this is sheet number 3 of 4. So the whole plan of Washington consists of 4 sheets. New York has 8, and LA has 12. So
okay.
So yeah, the bigger the city, the more sheets it'll have.
Okay. So I live in Orange County, California. Do you think you happen to have that one?
Okay. Is it a I'm not sure about the county system in California that much, but is it a part of the LA metro area?
Yes, it's approximately midway between Los Angeles and San Diego. So suburban Los Angeles.
Yeah, it should be there. We don't have it printed, but we can...
Angelos.
Nē, bet par pilsētu man ir domāts.
San Diego ir tikai šitāds.
Ah,
Uz 4
okay.
lapām.
Now these aren't city plans. These are 1 to 200,000 scale
Those are
maps.
quads, okay.
Yeah, but this is LA.
I'm looking for place names just to have some context.
You know, I'll open the nomenclature grid and
So did you just scan all the originals?
yeah, that's you know, because in fact we didn't even have all the originals that we have scans for. We even had people in Kazakhstan scanning those maps.
That
Here
one.
it is, orange.
Yes, yes, Irvine.
Irvine.
Bet tad,
I live
tad
right
ko
in
vajag
there.
apstīties uz tās Los Angelesas,
Yeah.
uz tām 12 lapām. Šeit tu to neredzēsi. Nē, tikai karš paraugiem ir tikai mūsu skanētājs.
So first page is right here.
All right. This is
Record.
Long Beach.
Yeah, orange bush šeit.
12.
Yeah.
Nu,
Atver 12. tad.
jā, ok, we can open.
Can we zoom in?
Jā.
Yeah, we'll open the separate file.
Okay.
This one isn't that detailed. This is just a general overview.
Yeah.
of the pages.
You've got an interesting store here.
Yeah, probably. Not often you find such stores, no.
No.
Yeah. I mean, there were
I don't know any specialized store left in United States, or it still is, for the maps.
Yeah, I don't know either. But I mean, you have just much more than tourist maps. You have street maps. You have maps like that up there. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Orange.
Orange. Okay, that's the city of Orange. Let's go south from there, and I'll show you where I live. This is interesting. This is supposed to be orchards.
Take into account that this is
What's the date here?
probably the 70s. 75.
Okay.
1975.
Okay, there were still some orange groves there then.
That you're growing oranges there. That's what it's saying about.
Well, historically, Orange County was full of orange groves.
Okay, makes sense.
But rapid development in the 1950s especially got rid of all of those.
Tu viņam tās izdrukas parādīja, ja?
This is Santa Ana. This is Interstate 5.
Yeah, T5.
Yeah, the 55. Okay,
Yeah.
that's State Highway.
Yep.
If you could go farther south, that's Santa Ana. Let's go farther south and a little bit east.
Kind of ends here. This is the last page.
Oh, it is. Okay, Santa Ana. Okay, I'm just trying to find myself.
Was your house built recently?
My house was built in the 50s. This looks like the 55 freeway.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, there was a former United States Marine Corps air base in this region. Do you read Russian at all?
At a second grade level, but no, it would have been specially marked.
Yeah.
Only industrial objects in the area.
Okay. I wonder what those features are there.
Likely some apartment blocks. They're unmarked. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
all of these other objects, the black ones, the green ones, and the purple ones, they're marked and they're shown in the index here, so it explains what exactly they are.
Okay.
But you know, they aren't always correct. So, for example, in the London city plan, Soviets mistakenly labeled a local indie drama theater as the residency of the Queen.
That's a pretty big error.
Yeah, they don't always get things right, but for what it's worth, I think they make some pretty cool maps.
Yeah, yeah.
And pretty precise ones as well. Hell, for some regions of the world, these are still the best ones available. I mean, case in point, most of Africa. These are still the best maps available because their own cartography industries aren't that advanced.
Yeah, yeah. So how much would you charge to make a hard copy reproduction of that?
A reprint of that size, we charge 25 euros.
Okay.
But it will be the large one. It will
Yeah,
be
it's a one-to-one copy. It's literally going to
Is
be
it the same size as the
Yeah,
size?
they're all the same size.
Okay.
Give or take. I mean, there are they do vary by a few inches based on the city, but
Sure.
but yeah, they're pretty big.
Okay. So hypothetically, I could order one from you, and you could ship it to my home in California.
Even to Fairbanks, Alaska, we ship worldwide.
Okay. Even to Fairbanks. Okay.
I mean, we've literally shipped our stock to native villages in the far north of Canada. So.
Okay. I think that would be an interesting map to hang on my wall.
Hell, one of our packages even went to a jungle village in Papua New Guinea. So it's,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Postal services these days work wonders, I guess.
Yes.
Of course, there's a question about costs because a map this size we would need to send by express mail, so that probably costs a little bit extra. We would of course put everything in the postal calculator, but
sure.
But take into account that that could be up to 20 euros extra.
Okay. Okay.
Specialized map shop, and we have different kind of maps, including.
So what is it about this?
Yeah, so basically it was made by two British guys who have pretty much dedicated half their lives to researching the whole Soviet map subject. They actually went to you Americans and got the Chicago University Press to publish basically their whole life's work.
Wow.
Right here. Yeah. So
Incredible.
made by two Brits. Published in the US and printed in Canada for some reason.
Wow.
But yeah,
Or it's not interesting.
anything you might want to find out about these maps is in there. Here is a comparison. This is from a Dutch newspaper article. So here we have a comparison between the Soviet maps and the Dutch military maps, and pay attention to which ones have more detail. So, yeah, the Soviet ones are a bit better.
Of course.
Now, of course, the Dutch local ones, they do redact some information. The whole secrecy thing. Hell, the Soviet maps do the same thing with the Soviet-controlled territories.
Yes.
But yeah. You can see that the Soviets knew a lot.
Yes.
About Western military infrastructure.
Is the gentleman, is he the owner of the store? Or?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Railway station.
Co-owner, okay.
Basically, the areas with less than 50,000 people living in them will be marked in gray, and the areas with more than 50,000 people living in them will be marked with orange.
Okay, so this is wild. This is a Russian map from 1981. 81 of the place I live. There's Huntington Beach, Newport Beach, San Clemente, Santa Ana, Costa Mesa. Irvine is even on here. Irvine being a new city, and it's all in Russian. There's Catalina Island. Catalina Island, and it goes down to San Diego. And they don't have an original of this, but they have reprints of it. 1 to 500,000 scale. The Russian map. This is totally wild. Up here, it's all in Russian. And then Los Angeles adjoining map is up there. And
there's no overlap between the maps, so where one ends, the next one starts.
right, okay. And so those are reprints because they sold the originals. But this one is an original.
Yeah,
this is an
both
original.
of these are.
Both of these adjoining maps here are originals. So you've got the Salton Sea and then up there the Mojave Desert.
San Francisco viņam neinteresē. Because we have one original with San Francisco.
Yeah, this is an air defense map. It's a pretty big one.
Oh, okay. It's an original San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only one.
Yeah, the only one we have still left.
Wow.
That's because also the price is 50.
Okay. Yeah, so I was saying these are Russian. I mean, they're actually Soviet.
Military.
Yeah.
Soviet military.
Yeah, you can actually
Yeah.
see how they say Generalny Shtab means General Staff.
Staff of Soviet Army.
General Staff of Soviet Army.
Yeah.
And then some of them have a secret, well, maybe not in the
Yeah,
United
some
States.
of them are marked. Basically, they were all secret, but the ones marked, basically the ones with the secret marking, they have a higher level of secrecy. Those are top secret.
Okay.
The other ones, the other ones had a lower level of secrecy.
So we're going to look around the shop a little bit more here. You have puzzles of maps, puzzles of globes. You've got all of these.
Yeah, all kinds of different interesting. Yeah, these are mostly historical ones. Yeah, some of them even have some pretty interesting stories.
Are they originals?
No, most of them are reprints.
Okay,
if they were originals, they would be in a museum.
Right.
We do have some original ones.
Yeah.
For example, this is original from 1936.
Okay.
But yeah. Oh, here's one with a really interesting story. So this map was made by an amateur cartographer, Atis Reinhards. It was never published. Only 10 original copies of it ever existed, and basically the reason it was never published is basically because of the situation it was depicting. Basically, it's depicting the political situation in Europe during October of 1939. So if you take a look at Poland, it's split between the German and the Soviet occupation zones. So as we all know, on September 1st, Germany declares war on Poland, invades. 3 weeks later, the Soviets invade, and by the end of the month, Poland is completely occupied. Take into account that in 1939, we already have Soviet bases established here in Latvia, because during the summer of 1939, basically the Soviets forced all three of the Baltic states to sign non-aggression pacts. So, in whose terms they basically established military bases in all three of the Baltic states. So a year later, when they hit us with the ultimatum of letting their forces in, it was pretty much pointless to resist, because there were literally 50,000 Soviet soldiers in each of the Baltic states already.
Yes. Oh,
So
very interesting.
it just would have been a huge bloodbath.
Yeah.
But,
That map does indeed have a story.
yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, it also depicts the Siegfried and Maginot lines.
Okay.
Everything is in Latvian, of course, because it was a Latvian photographer. But yeah, a lot of interesting stuff here.
And you have the Russian military maps up there. Those are all originals. We've got even lunar maps. We have compasses.
Тут есть такая карта
nautical maps as well if you're piloting the ship.
Oh, yes. We've got books on cartography and geography, globes, a whole bunch of tourist maps, touring maps, tourism books, children's books, more maps from all over the world, wall maps. Atlases. It's a geographer's candy shop. This is unbelievable. This is the largest collection of maps in a retail store that I've ever seen. Maps on a ballpoint pen. A world map glasses case. Maps on a foam ball, maps on wallets. Maps on lunch boxes. Maps on, I don't know what, bags. Just amazing. And this is a place I just stumbled upon. A very nice map up there of Riga.
An exception.
Yeah, right. So I've just purchased, where's the map I just bought? Oh, he's got it.
Getting in the tube.
It's getting into the tube. I just wanted to show on YouTube that I purchased a printed reproduction of this Soviet military map. Yes, scale is 1 to 200,000.
Printed in the 1980.
Date is 1980, and it's of...
Santa Ana.
Yes, Santa Ana is the quad name, and it shows Huntington Beach, Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, Balboa, Irvine, and all the places I film YouTube videos. You got something nobody else has.
Yeah.
You got
The
stuff.
Russians still have a lot of these, much more than we do,
But
they're not
they
exactly
do
keen
not
on
do
selling.
anything. No, actually, there was one company who using to sell these maps till 2012, but they do. I will show you. They do like that.
Basically what they did is cut off the part which contained the nomenclature and the word secret. So they cut those parts off. They sort of censored those maps.
Yeah.
Have a great day and
Yes.
thank you for shopping here.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Maybe we'll come back sometime.
Yeah, if I'm in Riga again, and I hope to be in Riga again, I sure will.
Send them some notice to this email to whom I sent you this link to article because it's from here.
Okay. Sounds good.
Take care.
Thanks.